My title says "Rest in Peace, Pokemon." You're probably asking, "Damn, why the hell he put that?" Right? Because I wanted to. Because I felt like it's gonna bother some people for me to say that. I mean, I'm a huge ass Pokemon fan. Been a fan since I was a baby, so it doesn't matter to me. Obviously, it's not really rest in peace. It's not killing Pokemon, but damn sure this game has been showing us so much of what we've been wanting, and not entirely every single element of this game we want in Pokemon, but the idea of what it's like to see creatures pull animations, and you know how it looks to be alongside with them with better graphics and just the physics of the game and just the beautiful vistas and everything like that. But let's get like really into it. What the fuck is Power Worlds? Power Worlds is this like open world RPG experience where you have like a monster fest of like hunting different creatures in the world and completing so many different tasks. You can build. It's a survival game. It's so much and more. And then you have these cute ass big motherfucking monsters with guns. Now, I'm exaggerating. There's not that much guns equipped to these monsters, and to some degree, not really all of them have it. Some characters might have an ability, but the purpose of this video is really to kind of break down. I'm gonna have some gameplay going back and forth, but let's really talk about what's been happening. This game broke records. I don't think it surpassed PUBG with concurrent or whatever, but the fact that it's still up there, and at one point PUBG's online based concurrent was ridiculous. This sold over 4 million copies in 3 days. That says a lot about the game. A game that I didn't really hear that much about. I've seen probably once or twice a promo, and it's only really out on Xbox Game Pass and the PC. And man, the experience has been nonetheless just excellent. And what happens is this: when a game is doing way too good, it's like you start seeing little cracks and shit, and people just seep in who are just filled with just negativity. Trust me, I can be negative too sometimes. Sometimes I be seeing the bullshit. I see some bullshit. Don't get me wrong. I see a lot of shit. But I find it that when there's really so much buzz going on, those who don't have much going on their platforms, those don't got much going on their websites, they need to kind of pick at something to kind of bring back some traffic. Maybe it's ad revenue. I don't know what the fuck y'all struggling from. But the whole point is that Power Worlds, it really has a lot of similarities to a lot of the popular games. And what's the negative feedback that everybody's giving it, or even just to be joking and to joke and whatever, make fun, is that it's Pokemon with guns. Essentially, you just have a bunch of these beautiful creatures and some dope ass creatures that look very similar to Pokemon characters in a world that's like on some Ark type shit, where you have to survive and eat food and everything, but also the vistas and the way the fonts look and the music and the pop-ups and the little jingles when you enter new towns and new findings and new discoveries is very similar to me. I said Tales of Arise and also Breath of the Wild. And there's one thing I want to just say before we get into this whole shit. And again, you're gonna see some gameplay, and shout out to y'all. I think we're about to hit 45K on the channel, so God bless. And anybody new to this, y'all watching my Dev Jam videos, all these other videos, man, I would highly suggest you vibe with your boy on this type of content, because this is the shit, man. Especially my OGs. Y'all grew up playing these games. This game is fucking huge. This game is really the shit. I'm not gonna lie. But let's just break this down. This studio is a Japanese studio, which I just saw. It's called Pocket Pair Inc. It's a Japanese developer studio. Do you understand how many games they have where it involves monsters and a hunting ground of a survival game where you must eat? They also got games that are JRPG, Japanese, RPG games where it's like cute, chibi looking characters. This game had to be the one that stands out the most. And of course, I'm gonna honestly say a lot of them do look like Pokemon. They look like rip-off Pokemons, right? But people found the need to not only just say that, but to also kind of say the game was bad. And you can see the bullshit. Now, I got like a little piece of an article here, and honestly, you could literally tell this person's reaching. And let me just also add this in. If you're a person who's oversensitive about fucking animal characters and them fighting, man, do me a big ass favor. Do me a favor. No funny shit. Just get the fuck out of my channel. I don't have time to sit here and have you sick fucks type behind the keyboard and be like, because animals with guns is fair and society is. I think it's a video game, my G. You know what I'm saying? So these people in the industry, they complain about whatever. Now, I've seen a lot of shit go down. This game, Power Worlds, is really a very fucking fun game. It's a reason why it has concurrent of just 1 million players. Literally throughout the day, 1 million players. Now, is there chances of it dying out? Possibly. Is there chances of this game losing its player base? Possibly. Is there chances that this game has been using AI? Very much so, because supposedly it's been reported this game was using AI to generate the likeliness of different Pokemon. And if that's the case, let me just tell y'all something. I don't give a fuck. And I'm just gonna be honest. And this is the biased part that I need to put out there. The biased part is that I see and I understand that I'm biased. There's a bias to it. The game is actually good. Y'all remember the day before? The day before was out here scamming, using AI to generate the artwork. They literally stole likeness of different video game trailers and created their own, and none of that was in the game. So like, they completely lied to us. We don't know how many games have been using AI to generate. That Insole game that looks like The Sims, but the Korean version is using AI to generate clothing and different designs. I love that shit. You know why? Because it saves up on resources and adds a plethora of content for the people. They're not hurting nobody. And if anybody tries to get copywritten content from that, that's on their own gameplay. That's not coming from the actual game. So when you see the artwork that's happening, when you see all the creatures, yes, they look like Electabuzz. They look like a lot of characters. They look like Charizard. Some of them look like whatever. I just know that to a certain degree, that wouldn't have been the case or been the news if this game wasn't popping. Yo, everybody who's watching this, man, that game is the fucking shit. Like, that game is fire. That game has a lot. That game got a lot to offer. I'm telling you, this shit is fucking lit. And people have a way of trying to get their name out there. So I'm going to just look. I'm going to read one of these. Like, does it make sense? I don't know. Maybe I'm just stupid. It says, for a game that's been repeatedly described as Pokemon with machine guns, the first thing that strikes me about Power World is just un-Pokemon like it actually is. It says, to its credit, it does do a quite good, and that's how they wrote the article. It does do quite a good Pokemon Legends Arceus impression when you first step out on its big starting continent. You just finished saying how unlike Pokemon is, and then give its credit to say that it's like Arceus. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of reaching going on. It's an open world game. Have you not played a lot of these Japanese RPG games? Almost all of them have the same art style, everything. This does not take away from the game having too much similarities of its goddamn monsters looking similar to Pokemon. Abso-fucking-lutely they do. But there's one big thing people are missing. Whether or not they took likenesses and they did everything, Game Freak needs to start stealing too. Because Game Freak is so behind on the game. They will drop a game with fucking empty looking ass worlds, blurry ass graphics, whack ass storylines, and will drop 2 versions of the game so that you could buy one and your homeboy could buy the other one, your home fucking skillet, so that way y'all could trade that one motherfucking Pokemon. Just for that, they sell you 2 versions. They've been scheming on y'all for years. They've been scheming on me because I buy their games too for years. So to what I just saw, and guess what? I just had this conversation with my mans. The fact that these monsters have animations equipped to them, whether they're out helping you cook and build and doing all these other things, when they're attacking the enemies, they have unique animations to them. Like you in Pokemon, you just see Pikachu fucking jitter and catching a stroke while thunderbolting. It still happens in 2023, in 2024. So like, you know, you say Pokemon, but it's really, you know what? Like, this is a level up. Pokemon, they haven't really been doing shit. Game Freak, where the fuck you at? You know what I'm saying? And what's fucked up is the reason why so many people love this is because it's a game without the guns. It ain't that serious. The guns is like oh shit, it's an extra when you do raids and boss fights. It's actually an additional, almost like a bonus when you grind so much and you finally equip or repair or unlock the ability to build and you acquire some different materials to kind of build a gun or to build a weapon that certain creatures can hold on to them as your companion to help you out when you summon them or whatever the case. Absolutely. It's fun as hell. You're going up against bigger creatures, bigger bosses, difficult areas, different vistas around the world, different climate changes in the game. It's a fucking dope ass game with just a whole plethora of fucking monsters, about 130 of them. And then they got this whole breeding and shit where you get to mesh the eggs and shit. That shit is fucking crazy. But this game really shows you some characters got some doofy animations, whatever. But for the most part, you see how some of these characters interact. And yes, it's a work in progress. They need a lot of work done. But this game delivers on so much of the accounts that we be wanting games like this. It just sucks. You know why? Because we be having these kind of like, yo, what if they did a game like this talk? When they finally deliver it, it's too hard to believe that it could really be developed or made genuinely and not just all rigged out and they stole assets. No, it's just, obviously I feel like a lot of it was AI. I feel like a lot of the artwork, and they probably had placeholders. They probably had monsters generated to look like certain, and then they went in and tweaked it out. Yo, listen, we see a lot of shit. We see companies, Call of Duty, stealing from everyone. It's the fact that this game is so fucking booming right now, so popular, that there needs to be things being said. But man, hopefully you enjoying this gameplay as I'm speaking. This shit is the shit. I was thinking it was a slow start. You know, I hate to having to cook shit, but man, is it fucking amazing, especially with people. You just wander off and you fucking capture. They got their own versions of Pokeballs and you could summon. Now, is there some issues with the game? Yeah, I got a top 5 things I don't like and top 5 things I love about the game. But this video was necessary in my opinion because I want to bring this video to the channel. I want to bring this game to the channel. This video is going to be great. I think I might multi-stream this game. This is a game where I even think the older cats that watch me, y'all gonna fuck with this because it's gonna always be in the back of your head how nostalgic Pokemon was when y'all was young too, when we was young. But the fact that it just carries itself different. There's a lot of things that this game does. Now I want to read a little bit more. It just says here, like this person is really just complaining. It says, but if the opening moments of washing up an island is nothing but you very scantily clad undies, it's like, I guess this article's from the UK or something like that, the way they're talking. It's just, they have a lot of shit that's just, is that really what's bothering you? Seriously, why do shipwrecks always destroy your clothes you had on, but not your smalls underneath? Like, what are you, like, what are the context of what you're talking about? You're really just babbling. You're really just babbling. You have no content, yo. You got nothing to talk about. You're really just reaching. How the fuck do you not make articles on Pokemon and how they've been scamming us? How you don't have that? We've been going through the motions with that goddamn game. It's so crazy to me. For underneath the cute round eyes of its cover stars, Palworld is really a survival game wearing the dead skin suits of Game Freak's catch-em-all monster friends. That sounded fire. She cooked on that statement. In a lot of cases, those skin suits are quite literal. Such are blatant palette swaps and so close to copyright infringement. I cannot believe Nintendo's lawyers haven't shut this down years ago. Rip-off creatures on display here. That's it. You cannot sue them. You can't. There's no such thing. There's no likeness in the game. There's no Pikachu that has the same stripes. There's no likeness. I think people get copyright infringement really fucked up. I think they get it really fucked up. There's no copyright infringement on that game. That game has no story based on. There's no gym leaders. There's no gym battles. It just so happens it's cute and also monsters. There's no evolutions in the game. You just capture a bunch of different monsters throughout the world and they got like a breeding system. They got their own system. It's like if Ark had a baby with Pokemon, but it's just, we only saying Pokemon because the monsters, they cute, big, whatever, and they got their own names. That's why they're doing it. It's just, it's a reach. You know what I'm saying? Even aside from all the survival gubbins, base building and sweatshops, automation practices shoved down your throat, then why do they have this person reporting this article? You are clearly someone then who should never play games where all, like Final Fantasy 14, you should never play Tales of Arise, you should never play Monster Hunter, you should never play any of these games that require you with time. Well, Tales of Arise is a little bit different, but you should never play these JRPG games. JRPG games may not be in your fucking line of games. Those are the type of games they drop, where it requires a lot of time. You might have to wait 10 hours for something to fucking cook up, or when you find materials and you have to now put it in the heat thing to make ore, to make ingots. And that's the type of game, those are grindy games. So you don't like grindy games. It's not shoved down your throat, it's a video game. It's what I'm saying. People are complaining for whatever it is. Those who have made content and videos, oh, this game is a scam. My G, you want to know what's crazy? The day before was a scam. The day before, what that game did, it grabbed intro likenesses of like other games. It grabbed trailer likenesses and replicated them, but they were never actually in the game. The game was actually empty and bare bones. It might have looked decent. That game was literally a ripoff. It was a scam. They had to close down the studio. It's clear as day. It's done. It's gone. The game has been removed from Steam. This game has so much depth, but because of the outside scale might look like Pokemon. I mean, not to sound fucked up, this ain't racist, but all their games be looking the same. They got the big eye characters. They look cute as fuck. Chibis, I think they're called. Like they got big eyes, beautiful little cute smiles. Chibi characters. That's what they do. That's their games. Most of those games are like that. You know, a lot of their games, like I think I heard my boy Ronchi saying he's so sick and tired of certain games made like Japanese RPG games because they do the same art style. Outside of the faceplate, there's so much depth with this game. There's a lot of shit to do. You don't just scam it up and drop a full-fledged game that has so much fucking shit in it. I'm thinking I'm done. I just found out about breeding. There's so much shit in this game. There's too much information in this game to just be pulled out of like a scam. Now, I am going to say it again. This game has the font likeness of like Zelda and other games. It has the music jingles to it too. Maybe probably AI generated. And I understand where the big problem is, because normally with AI, you kind of take the work of other people without their permission. So for example, you can't necessarily argue. I understand the argument where you're like, yo, you know, you wouldn't know how to generate cute Pokemon looking characters if it wasn't for you to, if you wasn't generating actual Pokemon. Like you probably grab Charizard and then AI generate. So I understand that argument. I understand that. But the fact that y'all not talking about certain things being right or wrong, and y'all just really looking for the clicks, because you could tell, instead of saying, hey, we want to know if this game has been AI generated, whatever happening to reaching out to the studio? Why everybody's jumping? We understand it's AI being used here. I know there's got to be some shit, right? But what happened to like getting into interviews with devs and shit? Whatever happened to those days? So I'm really confused why and conflicted why the argument became about the game being bad because it's a ripoff, rather than saying, wait, there's a lot of depth in here, but I want to know where they got the inspiration for these creatures, where they got this inspiration to do creatures with guns, like why we want to find these things out. The game has been too successful. You should go look for it. But that's really just my take. This is my take on the game. I hope you've been enjoying the background gameplay. Fucking shit is amazing, bro. It's amazing. And I want to drop some more content on this game, so I will. And it will go hand in hand with all the other content that I'm going. My Batman game that's going to be coming out soon. Well, going to be dropping the video. WWE content I'll be doing. My Def Jam videos, my Blitz videos. I'm going to be playing Wanted. I got that game dropping. Scarface. All these games. But I just can't help but it's like rip off creatures on display here. For that reason alone, Power World can feel about as soulless and cynical as it comes. Do you know how much motherfucking depth is in this game? Again, I'm not taking away from the fact that this has a lot of elements that remind you so much so of other games. I'm just talking about the fact that let's really find out. Let's all do actual research and see if they used AI on these creatures. Because I understand getting in trouble for using the likeness or, you know, taking work from somebody else's. If you're doing like the finals, I think Chase told me the finals was gonna get like there was something going on with them because they were AI using the voicing, and that takes away work from voice actors. So I understand, you know, the bare ground of things, but hearing some of people's takes on this is ridiculous. But it's your boy 3MG. I'm out of here. Rest in peace, Pokemon.